How's it going, everyone? We're back with another weekly watch list. This is going to be my watch list levels, everything I'm looking for this upcoming week in the stock market. QQQ, SPY, AMD, NVIDIA, Apple, Google, and Amazon. So if any of those interest you, stick around, check out the video. Stay for the whole thing. Appreciate that greatly. Thanks so much for clicking on the video as well. It means the absolute world to me. If you do enjoy this type of stuff, you're day trading, whatever, consider subscribing, dropping a like, commenting. It would mean the absolute world. So without further ado, let's jump right in. So we'll kick things off with NQ. Obviously, market at all-time highs. NQ, first levels I'm looking at, previous day high, previous day low. This was the easiest setup of the week. I just wish I managed this a little bit better. I had an entry on MNQ at 27,155, and I was able to capture 57 points on it on my first stab at it. I tried to re-enter, got chopped up a little bit in there, and ended up bringing my loss down, or sorry, my win down via a loss. Like I was had a true 1.5 R trade and then gave back about like an R of that. So like a half of an R, if you will, win overall on that. But it just sucks because it was such a plus plan from the pre-market and everything. I mean, this was a 300 point move, right? So, I mean, man, imagine holding that all day. So, obviously not going to happen. I got shit to do. But, anyways, the levels have been really clean recently, so that's been awesome to see. So, as far as game plan goes, for upside, I'll be watching break and retest over the previous day high. As far as downside goes, my main area will be below 27,129. Sure, like if we get like a pre-market range up here and, we get below this 27,300 area and there's a pre-market low, break and retest below that for a play back down to the previous day low, that's obviously very likely as well. I'll watch that as well. So as far as other support zones go, my next support zone is going to be this previous all-time high, which has been very strong on NQ at 26,824, and then below that 26,680. As far as rejects, nothing because we're at all-time highs. Just going to ride the trend. So let's go over to QQQ. Pretty similar, obviously, break and retest of a previous day high. Watch downside. I'll watch if we, break below this area here, this quick little pivot. Not a major level. This could be something that we move around anyways when the market opens tonight. But I'll watch puts down to the previous day low at 656.46. Main watch for downside. Again, like look at this, resistance to support flip. It's A+. So this was the play. I mean, I feel like everyone was watching that on Friday. It worked out beautiful. We just had, of course, not the cleanest follow through. Like say you had this entry here. I mean, what the NASDAQ immediately just chopped afterwards. You got a little bit of a push, but it chopped for another, hour before making a cleaner move up. So for downside, again, I'll watch puts underneath the previous day low. My next supports are going to be down here at this pivot at 649.34 and then 645.49 and then the 642.18. So let's go over to the S&P. So ES, previous day high, previous day low, previous day high is right at 7,200. So I'm definitely going to be watching a break and retest along over that. As far as downside goes, I'll watch puts underneath this pivot here at 71.81 to 71.85. Resistance, 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 flip to support. So if we get below that, I'll definitely be watching puts down to previous day low at 71.45. Below that, I have another pivot at 71.21. As you can see, hold, hold, break, obviously, hold, very key area. So I'll definitely be watching that. Next support under that's going to be that previous all-time high at 70.77, which has just been awesome. I mean, look at this. As long as the market holds this, we're going to continue higher, in my opinion, right? So real downside would be underneath 70.77. So of course, little intraday trading stuff in here, scalps, whatever, are on the table, but like this is, I will long this every time until it breaks. All right. We'll go over to S&P. I think it was the same thing on the SPY as well. We haven't tested it quite yet on the SPY, right? We still have the former all-time high on both on the daily and the 4-hour here at 698 area, the 698 to 700. So again, that's a huge area for SPY. Let's see if the market wants to come test that area this week. So previous day high, previous day low. Same exact plan. I don't need to repeat it. I'll watch puts underneath the previous day low, back down to that 702.28. But let's see if we get down here this week. I would love to see if the market wants to pull back, see if we test this former all-time high on, the big chungus, the SPY. All right, let's get into some of the individuals. We'll start off with Apple. I'm still watching Apple for like potential like swing or leaps here. I mean, I like this trend line look. I like it even more on the weekly. It looks very similar to this here. I just want to see a little bit of a stronger close. This weekly close doesn't really give me quite the confirmation to add something yet. So we're going to be patient with that. So as far as intraday level goes, I'm definitely going to need a break here. Over this previous day high, I'll be watching calls up to 276. I'll watch puts underneath the previous day low. And I do have a really nice 4-hour demand. So again, don't use a ton of supply and demand these days. Only if it's very, very clear. So I still look, but I only look now on the 1 hour and the 4 hour. And then for swings, the daily, the weekly, the monthly, the quarterly. But this is a very clean textbook demand zone here. So this 4-hour demand, 268.15, 267.82, I really like on Apple. So I'll definitely be watching that. That could be probable cause, if you will, for adding a swing. Okay, I day trade these, so I'm trying to do more swing trading on these stocks that I watch every single day. All right, let's go over to AMD. Where do I don't even know what to say here. I mean, this is just fucking insane. So let's see. I mean, we have this daily gap at 310, so maybe AMD wants to fill that. I have a really nice, I know I just said I've only been using 1 hour and 4 hour, but I did peak at the 3 hour just because we had such a strong move up like this. So if we have a really strong move up, I'll look at other time frames, but really clean 3 hour demand right here as well at the daily gap. So this is definitely going to be an area to watch for a long on AMD, but then there's also another 3 hour right here as well at 292 to 289. So yeah, I'm not really interested in downside. Like, I'm sure there's going to be people that play this gap fill and they'll make, good money on it. But I mean, with how strong it's been, I just don't know if I want to subject myself to that. I'd rather just look for the pullback long, and I'd have more confidence in that there. So yeah, because man, if we get down to this gap fill, I mean, how many people are watching this gap fill, right? If you are, comment below. All right. And anyways, NVIDIA, same thing, absolute ripper. This daily gap I've been watching for so long, and we just ripped right through that shit. So this daily gap right here at 205.58, NVIDIA did not care. We are right back at all-time highs. That last day on NVIDIA, Friday, was unbelievable. Like, holy fuck, that is just fucking insane. So yeah, I mean, I'll watch for break and retest over the all-time high. Maybe we reject there. As far as downside goes, I mean, again, it's less about downside and more about like pullback long. So like first pullback long is here at 203 to 204. It's this 4 hour major 4 hour high. I mean, why wouldn't you watch this right here? 4 hour high, rejected it again. Can it hold on the retest? That looks good this week. So I'll definitely be watching that this week on NVIDIA for the pullback long. Google's been really shitty recently intraday. I have it up, I'm watching it, but it's just like, here's your intraday, here's your intraday, here's your intraday. It's been, and then you're getting moves, outside of the market. So it's just not been ideal for day trading. So if we do look at the levels that I do have right now, previous day high, previous day low, as always, we have our all-time high right here. So sure, I'll watch calls over the previous day highs, good little room up there that looks pretty solid. As far as downside goes, again, I'll watch puts like underneath the previous day low and this 333, 334 pivot down to 330. But again, it's more like a pullback long, right? Like, I really like this area here. We had a hold here. We rejected it here. We held here. We held here. If Google gets down here, I'd look for a pullback long bounce here, reclaim the PDL, and then look for a long entry here. Real downside for me would be under 330. I'm still looking for that 322 gap fill long on Google. Amazon, beautiful. So happy with Amazon. Just so happy that I had the balls to just buy leaps off that earnings reaction, right? I just have a belief that on these giants, Amazon, Google, NVIDIA, AMD, that, you have a higher probability, in my opinion, of winning if you buy these knee-jerk reactions off earnings. And that's exactly what I did. I did not care. It's just like Amazon had this unbelievable drop off earnings. Such a major company, like it just didn't make sense to me. I bought leaps here. I mean, structurally it was good. My stop was under 193. This area here, from this high, never hit it. Never really became an issue. I believe it got down to like 190, 196 was the low. So didn't it was still, my stop loss was here at 193. This weekly gap close. Took the first leap off at 230. So it was like right around here, this daily gap we had, and then I have one more leap still running now, and it's June expiration of next year. So just really happy with that. So Amazon, as far as upside goes, breaking retest, previous day high. As far as downside goes, we have to get back underneath the previous all-time high, but again, more of a pullback long. So I'll definitely be watching that. This all-time high here on the daily is 258.6, and on the 4 hour, it's 259. So yeah, 259 pullback long. I'll watch puts underneath that and the previous day low back to 253. All right. So that's going to wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, please consider dropping a like, commenting, subscribing to the channel. Mean the absolute world to me. Wishing you all a great week inside and outside the market. Have an awesome, blessed week, and I'll see you all in the next watch list. Peace.